share with me and get to know me.
Working within it so that you can trust
You got to be able to produce things. And I'll tell you why that production is so important. But before we go there, how do you use those two pieces of equipment?
Success is not necessarily financial, but success is when you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. And then
to other women, they need to know their value, their worth.
But I believe everything that you put your mind to and you achieve, it's success.
Give us all the stuff.
Okay, I'll answer all 16 of those questions right now. I started in the music business at Seney while I was still...
Show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's guest is truly a treat. Today's guest is a partner in the truest sense of the word. She's an executive administrator with over 15 years of experience supporting presidents, vice presidents, chief medical officers, directors, and many more in leadership roles. She loves providing mentorship to new virtual assistants and sharing her knowledge and expertise to watch them grow. Our guest resides in Wisconsin with her husband and 2 boys. Y'all, please put your hands together and help me welcome Ashley Seney.
Hello.
Hey, Ashley, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. It is so great to see you and not on a team meeting.
I know, right? Where we don't actually have to talk about work. Well, I mean, this is kind of work.
Kind of work, yeah, but it's fun work.
It is fun.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, Ashley, I know you very well, but would you please do me the honor of introducing yourself, telling us more about you and how you got started on your entrepreneurial journey?
You got it. So like you said, I live in Wisconsin. I have been born and raised in Wisconsin. I've never known anything else. I'm a true Wisconsin girl. Dairy all the way, whether it hurts me or not. Packer fan. I have 2 little boys, an almost 7-year-old and a 4.5-year-old. They are flaming redheads and they keep me on my toes. And my entrepreneurial journey began how many do. Many years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, I worked in a corporate position and I was burnt out. It was that classic situation of, you know, here's 60 hours worth of work, but you have to do it in 40 hours because you're not allowed to have overtime. And I was just tired and stressed. And I had a really minor procedure that allowed me to be home for a month. And that was it. After I'd been home for a whole month, I was like, yeah, I need to be home more often. At the time, my children were 3 and 1, and I was missing out. And I didn't know my baby. I didn't know that he could wave to people and blow kisses. And so it was a huge wake up call. And so I went back, and within a week, I was like, yeah, nope, it's time to be brave and try a new chapter. And so my husband and I talked, and we adjusted our entire lifestyle to fit with one income so that I could focus on working on my business and finding clients and building my business to what it is now.
Wow. And tell me, I know this isn't a part of our question list, but in terms of that decision, was that a decision that you regret, or are you glad you made that decision?
Oh, 100% happy I made that decision. It was scary. like any big decision is. It was terrifying. For most of our relationship and my marriage, I was more the breadwinner. So it was a really big adjustment to give up some of that control and lifestyle and to adjust for it and let him take the lead. And it was definitely scary. We had to, we had to like custom make a desk in our bedroom because we lived in like an 800 square foot tiny apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. There was no place to put a desk. So we made one along one wall of my bedroom so that I could have a desk to work off. But we made it work, and 100% zero regrets.
That's awesome. I love it. I am so grateful for that decision, truly. Because as you know, when I started my entrepreneurial journey full time, it was at a time when I was also working full time and trying to build a business full time. And my biggest dream and hope and wish and desire during that time was just for 2 more hours of sleep every night.
I remember you weren't sleeping much when we met. I remember.
I was not. I was working a full-time day job. I was running this business full-time by myself, building clients, bringing on new clients. And my plate was so full. So I would work, my full-time day job and then come home and then, try to get some dinner together, pick up something for my husband, and then start like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night and sometimes work till 2 a.m, get another couple hours of sleep and then have to get up again and go to my day job, leaving the house at like 7, so got to get up at 6. So I was so tired. I was so tired.
Oh, I'm tired just listening to you.
And then, I'm a praying woman. And so I was praying. I was like, Lord, I know that you are opening all these doors of opportunity. I'm so grateful, but I need some help. Please send me a helper. And I called my cousin, Christine Russell, who is just an amazing woman who runs a Black women's wellness program in Madison. And she is my idol. I truly just love and appreciate everything she stands for. And when I mentioned to her that I was needing some help, she was like, oh, hey, you should call my friend Ashley. She just started a business like that. She might be able to help you.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. And yeah, that was, almost 3 years ago.
I know. And what's funny is I believe I might have been, I don't know if I was moving, but I was not in Wisconsin when I connected with you, because I remember being in North Dakota visiting my in-laws and having to get my father-in-law to print off our contract because I was nowhere where I could do it myself.
I remember, yeah, and you warned me though. You gave me the heads up, and you were like the consummate EA, giving me all the heads up. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. I'm going to be here on this day, here on that day, and so I may have lack connectivity. And you prepared me well, so I knew what to expect. And I just was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love her already. She hasn't even signed the paperwork. But it was so great to have someone to help and to delegate things to. I think people don't realize the value and the power of delegation and being able to delegate things off of your plate when you are getting some help to lighten your load. So even if it's just so that you can focus on, as entrepreneurs and business owners, being able to focus on the things that are most important, or if it's just to get a couple extra hours of sleep. It's so important. The power of delegation. I absolutely could not be more grateful and more thankful to you for agreeing to join our team and be my right hand to help me throughout our daily operations. It's been truly an amazing experience. So you have been promoted to business operations manager for Executive Help Now, which is our company. And so what would you say is your primary goal for serving Executive Help Now clients?
So I've been your business operations manager for a little over a year now, right?
Yep.
It's been a little over a year. And I think I think the goal has changed as I've slid into the role and become really comfortable with it. And I think the most important thing that I do as the business operations manager is connect with our team to make sure that they are always in the right mind frame while they're working with our clients. And I mean that in a way like we all have personal lives. We all have stuff going on in our personal lives. And so every single time I meet with our team, which is just about weekly with almost everybody, it's gauging how they're doing, how their work-life balance is. Are they overwhelmed by work? Because, work comes in at weird ebbs and flows, and it'll be a quiet week and then they get slammed the next week. And so I really assess how they're doing and making sure that they have the support they need so that our clients don't feel any disruption in their services, that they don't feel a delay, that they don't know what's behind the curtain. Whatever's going on behind the curtain, they're not supposed to know about that. So I think that's the most important thing, is just to keep the clients' services moving at a steady rate without any of the challenges in the background.
Right, exactly. And you do that so well. And I think one of the things that we try to do as a culture is try to have an atmosphere or an environment of collaboration, that when our team starts to feel, a little overwhelmed by client assignments or whatever, there's always someone to pitch in and help lighten their load, whether they can take something off of their plate. Again, delegation. We have it even within our own team to be able to have that support system so that no one is feeling truly overwhelmed or feeling like they're out of balance, because working with Executive Help Now is supposed to be fun. So, right. Yeah. And so that's the culture that we want to build. And you are a critical part of managing and maintaining all of that.
Well, it can be kind of lonely, when you are a contractor or even just an assistant, your focus is usually on one specific person that you are supporting or one specific department. And so it can feel like you're kind of out on a limb all on your own. And I don't want them to ever feel that way. I want them to know that we have their back, that I'm invested in the quality of life that they have. And that pertains to the business, Professionally, I want to make sure that they are always feeling like they're supported and part of a family, and that they can come to me or you and talk about whatever they need to, whether it's personal or business.
Absolutely. And that I think that's one of the things that kind of sets us apart as our family-like environment, and how I don't know if your family was like my family, but my mom always said, what goes on in my house stays in my house. And so we call that family business. And so that's one of the things that we do too at Executive Help Now, is we keep family business, within the family, and we learn from one another, and we teach one another, and we grow from one another, and we encourage and empower and support one another, just like that, because it's all part of the family business.
It is.
Yes, exactly. So I know that you mentioned that you meet with the team, at least, once a week, most of the time, and make sure that they're doing okay. And that's how you maintain. Would you say that that's how you maintain the culture that we have?
That's the main. I think that is like 98% of maintaining the culture, is that common connectivity, that they know they can count on having a connection with me during the week. They know that if stuff hits the fan on Thursday, they know that we have a meeting on Monday and that we can talk it out, and that there's always a space for them to have a discussion with me about anything that's on their plate, whether it's a concern or just needing some feedback and some guidance on how to manage something that's complex and tricky.
Right, right, exactly. And they know that they're safe. They know that they're
Yeah.
safe with you. It's like a no judgment zone. No matter what they bring, that there's no they don't have to be embarrassed because either they don't know or they need help, or it's not that at all. It's like we are just here for their success. We want to set them up for success in everything and every client assignment that they get, and every part or aspect of that client assignment. We want them to operate in excellence. And so we get the opportunity to teach them, to train them, to help them, like you said, do the mind shift and how they're looking at things, so that when they go in, they can have the confidence and knowing, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I'm pretty sure that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been amazing at that. You just absolutely amazing. So, and there's something. Oh, and on top of that, in terms of the culture, you remember everybody's birthdays.
Oh my gosh, I try really hard to keep track of everybody's birthdays and their EHN anniversary, because we like to celebrate. You know,
Absolutely.
there's any excuse to celebrate, we like to celebrate. So I try to keep a real good track on everybody's EHN anniversaries and birthdays, and celebrate our team at every chance we get.
That's right. And holidays, I mean, just everything. It truly is. We truly care about our team. And I love how you care for them and how they know how appreciated they are and valued they are, and just incredible members of our team. And so much so we've called each other rock stars. And I'm not sure which one of our team came up with that name, but I loved it. I was like, it's sticking. We're going with it.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect for our team. They really are rock stars. I don't know. I try to tell them as often as I can how valuable they are. Like we couldn't function without each and every single member on our team. They are just such an integral part of our team, and they're just amazing. We have such a wonderful team. I'm always proud of them and always excited to work with them.
Yeah, it's awesome. Same here. Same here. And EHN would not be what it is without them. So I could not agree more that they are executive help now. And and just so valued in every single aspect of this entire journey. So, putting on your virtual assistant hat, what advice would you have for others who are thinking about starting a career as a virtual assistant?
Well, you have to be brave. It is a leap of faith. But as I have become more integrated in the industry, I mean, being a virtual assistant is very different. Well, it is very different than being an administrative assistant in an office. And so
in what way? Can you go a little bit deeper in that?
When you're a contractor and you first decide to do this, the biggest hurdle is trying to figure out where you're going to find clients. That is the hardest part. And there's like little ripple down effects. You know, how do you protect yourself with a contract? How do you determine your pricing? All of that is part of it, but none of that matters if you don't have a client. And so the biggest trick is finding your clients. And the way I did it, aside from EHN, was I reached out to every business owner I knew, and I let them know that I had decided to quit my corporate job and that I was opening my own business as a virtual assistant, and if they would please keep me in mind for any of their friends and business owners that might need some help. And I tried to phrase it very strategically because I didn't want it to come across like I was spammy. But but small business owners know small business owners. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody was just aware that this was something that I was doing.
Right.
But
so tell people. So it sounds like the first critical piece is to tell everybody.
Yep. Tell everybody.
Tell everybody that what you're doing.
Change your job on your social media pages to virtual assistant. But I think another really important piece is not everybody can do what I did, where you jump in with both feet and quit your job before you've got anything lined up. And I think finding an agency is extremely helpful because they kind of bridge that gap. They're the ones that have the clients, and then they help pair the clients with their contracted virtual assistants. And so I got to learn so much through your agency, and I got those connections, and I got to continue to build my skill set, but in a more virtual way rather than an in-person way. And that was really important. And I think that especially when you're first starting off, if you don't have the luxury of quitting your job, having an agency is helpful, because one of the conversations we have with potential new team members is, what is your capacity? How many hours can you devote? And so we have a number of people who have full-time jobs during the day, and then they work in a limited capacity on nights and weekends. And it's such a great way to get your foot in the door and to just slowly start to kind of figure out what this industry is about.
Right. Exactly. So true. So true. And then you can decide for yourself, is this truly for me, or do I want to continue doing this for maybe some, hair and nail money,
Yes.
just a little something on the side so I can go shopping every now and then or something like that. Or do I want to actually be able to pay my rent, buy groceries, and pay my bills and car note and all of this? You get to decide. You totally get to decide. And that's one of the things I really liked about what I love about being a virtual assistant and offering virtual assistant services to businesses and small business owners and other entrepreneurs, because sometimes a client may not need a full-time EA. And so the service we provide gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I only need somebody for a few hours a week. Can you help me? I can say, yes, absolutely, we can help you. Because we have people on the team who only want to work a few hours a week, So it's a perfect combination and a perfect opportunity for both the client and the virtual assistant. And it really, truly is rewarding to be able to be the matchmaker.
Yes.
To make the match. in the wonderful words of Fiddler on the Roof. Which probably people only in Wisconsin know.
I definitely know it.
So I think, I'm not sure how many people caught in the very beginning that I too am from Wisconsin, and we actually didn't live very far away from each other when I was there. So, and Christine is still there, my cousin. So anywho, go Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. So Ashley, what would you say is your greatest achievement along your entrepreneurial journey?
So this is going to sound a little cliche, but I would say that my biggest achievement is being able to have the flexibility to spend more time with my family. It's this job offers a flexibility that is just, it's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. I have especially when you are married and you have someone who's already working out of the house, I don't know how single parents get things done, because it's so hard. It is so hard to do all the things, to work and to manage a home. And this allows me the flexibility of getting the kids on the bus in the morning and getting them to doctor's appointments. But I also get to volunteer for field trips and chaperone field trips. And I've gotten to spend time in my preschoolers class. And those are just amazing things. This is there. Somebody, I can't remember who said it, but this time frame of being a mom with this age group, it is the longest, shortest time. It's really a short time, but it feels so long. And I'm so blessed and grateful that I have the ability to spend so much time with my kids and to be that mom that can go and chaperone and go to a field trip and go to the classroom at preschool. I mean, it's just, their little faces just light up. They're at the age where they want me around. So I want to be able to be around. I know it's a limited amount of time. So it's as long as they want me around, I want to be able to have the ability to to do this kind of stuff with them. And so it's like I said, it's a little cliche, but it's the main reason why I do what I do. That's my motivation.
Right. And I would not even say that that's cliche. I think that is completely and truly relatable and unique. So when you ask somebody what their greatest achievement is, some people may say, "Oh, I've made so much money," or "I've done this out of the ever." No, flexibility and work-life balance. That's a thing. And so yes, I certainly wouldn't call it cliche at all. It definitely is a very real thing that is specific to you and your priorities for your life. And so, and they're awesome. And because their kids are only little once, that's it. Every day is a treasure. Every day is to be treasured because you can't get it back. And they're not going to take their first step again. They're not going to say their first word again. They're not going to blow kisses, for the first time again. Do you know what I mean? That's
right. I mean, there was something, probably a social media post, that you never know when it'll be the last time that they hold your hand or the last time that they want to, be held in your lap. My almost 7-year-old still climbs into my lap. He's too big. I have to sit on the floor to have him in my lap, but he still wants to be in my lap. And he can hang out in my lap and, as long as he wants. So it's amazing. I'm so thankful that I get to spend so much time with them.
That is so great. And I'm so grateful to you as well. I mean, I'm glad that you get to do that and still be such an integral part of the Executive Help Now team. And so as we get ready to wrap up, we've only got 5 more minutes, less than 5 minutes left on this episode of Renee Speaks before we have a surprise for everybody that we'll talk about in just a bit. But before we go, tell us one thing that one advice or tip or piece of wisdom you can share for working moms.
So you've heard me say this before. The most valuable thing I own right now is my time. It is the most valuable thing I own. And so I covet my time. So whenever I can outsource anything, whether it's, I have someone come and fold my laundry. All moms get this. We can never keep up with our laundry. I literally have someone come over and help me fold my laundry. And it is the most amazing thing. So to me, my biggest advice is covet your time and do whatever you can to protect your time because it is the most valuable thing you have.
That's right. I could not agree more. What great advice. And that is truly a golden nugget. And speaking of golden nuggets, I definitely want to let our listeners know, our audience, that before we go, we have an amazing surprise and that's super exciting. So Ashley is going to go in the green room with me and have a cup of coffee and a couple of donuts while we head over to 100 TV Network. So yes, that is another show that is taking off of Renee Speaks. So the content will be exclusive to 100 TV Network, and that's the name of the show is called Renee Speaks Golden Nuggets, and you can catch exclusive content every Tuesday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern on 100 TV Network, and it'll be chock full of extra interview questions, behind the scenes stories, and all kinds of inspiration and empowerment to keep you going throughout the week. So be sure to mark your calendars. It's starting in June. Okay, so Ashley, let's grab our cup of coffee and grab our donuts in the green room, and we will say goodbye to everyone for now on Renee Speaks.
Find a mentor.
Learn things.
It's like a multi-million-dollar business
of your journey.
Moments in time we can make an impact one
a little bit better.
So when it comes to launch, feel fulfilled. You were made for something great. So go and be awesome.